Banana pudding is a big deal. Everybody loves banana pudding. And I'm sure it's that way in a lot of other places. Now, banana pudding is not something that we make very often, and I think it's because we don't always have fresh bananas on hand, especially when you live way out in the country. It's something, probably one of them special desserts because you ran into town and got some fresh vegetables and fruits, and bananas is one of them. So it's more of a dessert that we would take to a potluck, a family gathering, a church supper, or maybe just a special occasion. There's no special occasion tonight except that Mr. Brown is feeling a little bit better, and I'm going to make him banana pudding. Now, that being said, his favorite banana pudding is the hot pudding poured over the cookies with a meringue on top. He likes it coming out of the oven hot. Well, he'll have to get that later because I'm going to be making the cold version of my banana pudding. And everybody has their own way of making banana puddings. There's so many different recipes out there and so many different ways you can really make it. And you think, banana pudding's just banana pudding. But that's not true. There's so many different versions out there. But anyways, I'm going to show you mine. Not very many ingredients. There's one ingredient, probably a little bit different than what you might use in your banana pudding, but it's going to be good. So let's make Mr. Brown a bowl of banana pudding. Okay, we're going to start out by mixing our pudding. And all we're using is a 5.1 ounce of vanilla pudding. It's the big box. We're going to put it here in our blender. I've got my old Sunbeam mix master up here. Y'all remember a while back I got this at a flea market, and I was really excited about it. And I've got 3 cups of milk. Now we're just going to turn this on and we're going to mix this up a little bit. Okay, now that I've had it mixing for a little bit, it's starting to get thick. But what I'm going to do, that most people probably don't, is I'm going to add just a little bit of extract. And what I'm going to add today is just probably about half a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm even going to put a half a teaspoon of banana extract. Now, I'll tell you something that I have done, and it is delicious, and you might think I'm crazy, but it tastes so good, is when I make my coconut pies and stuff, I always keep on hand coconut extract. And I have put in coconut extract in my pudding, my banana pudding. It is so good. I know it may sound different, but it's really good. But anyways, I can smell that banana. So we're going to turn this on and we're going to mix it up just a little bit longer. Some recipes call for cream cheese. I'm using sweetened condensed milk. So I'm just going to pour in a can of sweetened milk. This gives it such a rich flavor. It almost makes you think that you've made your pudding homemade instead of it being instant. It just gives it that much more of a richer flavor. That's for sure. So we're going to give this a little mix. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to put some plastic wrap over the top of this. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. What it's going to do is going to firm up, get a little bit thicker, and stay cold while I'm making my whipped cream. Now, when we go to making our whipped cream, I've got my bowl in the freezer, and you can even put your beaters in the freezer too, and that helps. It just helps your your whipped cream to do better. So anyways, let's get this in the refrigerator real quick. Okay, now we're going to make our whipped cream. Now, if y'all don't want to make whipped cream and you just want to use a bowl of Cool Whip, that's just fine. We're going to take some heavy whipping cream, and y'all see I've got my little mixture here, and the bowl has been in the freezer. And I picked this up at a flea market probably about a year ago, and y'all have seen it in some of my videos, and we talk about it. It whips up cream really quick. In fact, it'll make it plumb butter into butter if you're not careful, but it does a really good job. I'm going to put about a cup. In fact, some of y'all have seen these and even looked it up for me to see what year it was made in. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 1950s. So we're going to turn this on. I'm just going to let this whip a little bit. But I'm going to put some powdered sugar in there. And it's a dancing on the table. We're going to try to put it in there just right through this hole, but it's going to make a mess. That's okay. I don't want my whipped cream too sweet because this has already got quite a bit. I mean, the banana pudding's pretty sweet. So you can hear it. It's getting thick. I'm going to put me just a little bit of vanilla in it. You can do this with your hand mixer. So let's check it. Now that I've made a mess with powdered sugar, I'm going to check it and see. Nope, it's still got a ways to go. So we're just going to let this whip. When it starts getting thick, I'll bring you back. Okay, our whipping cream is done. You see it got good and thick. I put about 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla to 1 cup of whipping cream. And that's what we got here. And it makes 2 cups. So we got that ready. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator till we get ready to assemble our banana pudding. Okay, today I'm not going to be using vanilla wafers. I'm going to be using these Lorna Doone shortbread cookies. These are really good little shortbread cookies. And you see how they're shaped. Now, I'm just using 1 box. So like I said, if you're going to be making a big thing of banana pudding, you want to double. And the recipe, of course, will be down in the description box. So all you need to do is I'm just making one smaller version of this. So I've got me a small bowl here. It's not too small, but it's in between there. I've got my cookies lined up on the bottom. And of course, with regular banana pudding, you're just going to do your cookies and your bananas. Mr. Brown, he loves homemade puddings and pies, of course, that come out of the ovens hot, you know. So that's the way he really likes his banana pudding too, but he does like this too. So you just want to cut them up, and you can cut them up any size you want if you want them in bigger chunks. Or whichever. Just kind of spread them out. Now, everybody loves their vanilla wafers, that's for sure. But this is just a different version, and it's really good. Now we're going to take our pudding. And you know, when you taste of this pudding, after putting that sweetened condensed milk in there, it almost tastes like melted ice cream. I think that's why I like it better this way, because it tastes like ice cream. So put you a good amount of pudding up there. Kind of smush it over your cookies. Them cookies absorb that pudding, and it'll soften them cookies up. Now we're going to take our whipped cream and do a layer of whipped cream. So we're just going to dollop some on there. Spread it over our pudding. You know, my mother-in-law, she would make banana pudding too, and it usually was around Thanksgiving, Christmas. But talking about my mother-in-law, she was the neatest cook. I'm not joking. That woman could cook and cook and cook and bake, and you'd walk in her kitchen while she was doing it, and her kitchen was spotless. I really looked up to that. I thought, how in the world? Because I can tell you, when I get done, my kitchen is not spotless. Okay. We're going to switch back over to our cookies. And just line them up the best way you can to get them to fit in there. You know, I think Paula Deen makes a banana pudding where she uses, I don't know if they're shortbread or some kind of chess. Are they a chess? They're, I don't know. I think they're a shortbread cookie. I'm not sure. And it always looks so good to me. But I love these Lorna Doone shortbread cookies. They're so good. I can just eat these with a cup of coffee or crumble them up on top of ice cream. My little grandkids, they love them. So I'm just going to smush my cookies around. You can even kind of overlap them if you have to. But I'm going to save just a few back to crumble up to put on the very last layer. So now we got our cookies. We're going to do another pudding. I have never met anybody that didn't enjoy a good banana pudding. Have y'all? And well, now I had to take that back. I've got a son-in-law that don't care for it, and it's because he don't care for bananas. He's not a banana eater. But I really think that if I let and Deanie, he can eat it without bananas. So I think if I left the bananas out, I really think Jeremy would eat it. Okay. Now, I didn't put my bananas on top of that one. So I'm going to come back and put my bananas on top of my pudding. I've got the window open here because you can hear the birds out there. It's really not warm outside today. In fact, it's awfully cold. But I've got my wood cook stove a-cranking. And when we do that, you have to open a window because it will absolutely run you out of this little cabin. Which is a good thing. I'm not complaining about it a bit. We don't have a big electric bills. We heat with our wood cook stove, so we don't have that expense. And it does save you a lot of money when you're not using electric to heat, or you're not using propane or natural gas. We were raised with wood heat. And of course, when I found my wood cook stove, That's a lot of bananas. When I found my wood cook stove, it's such a price that you could not pass it up. We took the wood heating stove out and we replaced it with the wood cook stove. So that's how we heat, and we do a lot of our cooking with it. I almost didn't have enough whipped cream. If I wouldn't have put a layer in between of whipped cream, I'd have had plenty. But anyways, going back to the wood heat. In the wintertime, our electric bill at the highest is about $60, and most of that is just being even, I mean, that's taxes and being able to even have electric. They charge you for that. So it's not high at all. But in the summertime, as much as we work and work out and get home, sometimes pretty late, we like the house to be cool. So we do have a window unit. And the highest I think our electric bill's ever been in the summertime, and it was about July or August. And I think the highest was about 160. And that was our highest only high month that we had through the summer. Like I said, it was July or August. It was really, really hot that summer. So we got our whipped topping on there. And I've got some cookies left over. And I'm just going to crumble them in my hand and crumble them over my whipped topping. And like I said, you can use Cool Whip if that's what you prefer, and it does make it a lot faster. If you're needing to make something, some banana pudding, and do it in a pretty good hurry. But to me, nothing beats homemade whipped topping. So there's your banana pudding. So we got our pudding covered. We're just going to put it in the refrigerator. And to me, banana pudding is like a lot of things. The longer it sits, the better it gets. The cookies get really soaked up with that pudding. So we probably won't dig into this till tomorrow. I hope y'all like this recipe. It's just one of my versions of homemade banana pudding. Like I said, there's so many out there, so many good ones. And this is just another good one.